What was inside this 4,500-year-old pyramid, 480 feet above the ground, that researchers sent a robot with a camera inside just to see it? The robotic camera stopped at one point because there was a stone slab in front of it. Researchers believed that there was a secret hidden behind the slab that had been buried for the past 4,500 years. They had to uncover this secret at any cost. So, they attached a drill machine in front of the robot, which made a big hole in that stone slab. Now a camera was sent inside this hole, which saw a scene beyond the slab that no one had seen for the past 4,500 years. Welcome once again to the videos. In Egypt, there are a total of 138 tall pyramids that have faced dozens of earthquakes and several dangerous storms over thousands of years, but not a single one has moved an inch. The tallest and largest pyramid among them is called the Great Pyramid of Giza. And the base area of this pyramid is 31 acres, meaning that incredibly, not 1 or 2 but 9 entire football fields can fit inside this pyramid. According to estimates, a total of 23 lakh large stones were used in this pyramid, many of which weighed 50 tons. If its total weight is estimated, the pyramid weighs 60 lakh tons, which is equivalent to the weight of 12 Burj Khalifas. But what was the purpose of building such tall and magnificent pyramids? Thousands of years ago, when humans didn't even have any tools, how were the walls of these pyramids leveled inch by inch? How were 50-ton stones cut into square shapes and transported up to a height of 480 feet without cranes? And whose engineers were involved in building these pyramids, who made them earthquake-proof and set all their sides at exactly a 51.5 yojak chinha degre angle? You will learn all this in today's video. So let's begin. Challenge number 1. For centuries, various research teams sat together to understand the construction technique of this pyramid, how each side of this pyramid was set exactly to north, south, east, and west without a compass. Many experts believe that the architects of that time first searched for land that could bear the weight of millions of tons of stones. After that, with the help of the pole stars, the stars that help determine the Earth's poles, each side of the pyramid was marked. No compass and no optical instrument, just with this basic technique, the question of building this pyramid was set thousands of years ago, and that too with zeros. Challenge number 2. The next challenge was leveling the ground. If the level of the 13-acre land on which this pyramid was to be built was even slightly off, it would have been absolutely impossible for this mountain of 2.3 million stones to stand. Now, to level this land, the engineers of that time had neither a laser leveler nor a spirit level. Experts believe that a ditch was dug on all 4 sides of the construction site, and water was poured into it. Then, the water level on one side was matched with the water level on the other side. The part of the land that was not matching the water level would have been cut and leveled with the help of chisels and hammers. Many experts believe that ancient Egyptians also used this simple tool, which has wooden pieces on both sides and a stone tied with a rope exactly in its center. If the stone touched the ground and its rope was coming exactly on the center line, it means that the ground of the 20 was perfectly level. Challenge number 3 now. At the pyramid construction site, directions were set, marking had been done, and the ground level was also set. Now it was time to start construction, which required millions of tons of heavy and large stones. But they had neither grinders nor jackhammers to cut these stones. Yet, they cut 50-ton stones and gave them square or rectangular shapes. But with whose help? Yes, it was this single plant that helped cut the stones. Experts believe that the chisels used for the pyramid's construction were not made solely of copper, because they also knew that copper is soft and cannot cut stone. Therefore, a chemical, arsenic, was also included in it. Copper and arsenic were used to make these chisels, which were hammered onto the stones with wooden hammers. After many hours of hard work, large stones were shaped. Challenge number 4 now. This special type of stone, which is called limestone today, was being cut about 250 kilometers away from the pyramid construction site Giza, in the city of Torah. Now the problem was transporting these stones to Giza. Each stone weighed 50 tons, or 50,000 kilograms, which is roughly equivalent to the weight of 3 passenger buses. And millions of such stones were to be used in just one pyramid. No animal could be used to transport such a large weight in that era, nor did they have trucks. Even if this work had to be done in today's modern era, transport companies would face a considerable challenge. Surprisingly, this work was done with the help of workers and boats. Yes, they took advantage of the river between Torah and Giza, and stones were loaded onto large boats and transported to the pyramid site. Experts believe that this work was not so easy. At least 500 laborers would have been deployed simultaneously for the loading and unloading of such large stones from ships. Challenge number 5. The team of experts researching the construction of this pyramid had now found answers to many of their questions. But one thing bothered them all the time. The limestones were cut, transported, and started to be placed one on top of the other during construction. The problem was how these stones were raised to such a height. Many experts believe that it was planned before the pyramid's construction that they either went up through a spiral track or in a zigzag manner. But it is certain that the 50,000 kilogram stones were pulled up with the help of an army of laborers. Challenge number 6. It wasn't just about millions of laborers cutting limestone with chisels and hammers and transporting such large stones. Inside this pyramid, compartments, their access routes, and many small tunnels were also built. Everything else was fine, but one thing surprised the experts. The stone used in the inner compartments was not limestone but granite. Yes, granite is a stone that is considered the hardest stone in the world after diamond. Even in Google's Motorola era, granite cannot be cut without the help of large grinders. Many archaeological experts from around the world were also given a tour of the pyramid, but no one found a clue as to how the Egyptians cut such a solid stone as granite so cleanly 4,500 years ago. Finally, after many years, experts also solved this mystery. The tips of the granite were cut so cleanly with a saw that had no teeth. Yes, weights were placed on both sides of this toothless saw, and it was run over the granite, with gravel being put in between. Experts believe that this method would take 4 months to cut such a large stone. So, what was the purpose of building the pyramid? How many laborers worked simultaneously in building these pyramids? And what was the scene that the robotic camera saw inside the pyramid when it drilled into the stone slab, which no one had seen for the past 4,500 years? You will learn all this and much more in part 2 of this video. Thank you very much for your loving comments and likes. See you in the next fantastic part of the video.